If your child is obviously intelligent but keeps struggling in school, you're not imagining things. They understand complex ideas. They remember random facts. They ask questions that make adults pause. And yet, their grades don't reflect it. Their teachers seem confused. And you keep hearing phrases like, "They have so much potential." That sentence sounds hopeful. But after a while, it starts to feel like a warning. Because here's the uncomfortable truth most parents don't hear. Some of the smartest kids struggle the most in school. Not because they're incapable, but because the system assumes intelligence is enough. It isn't. Picture this. It's late afternoon. Backpacks are dropped at the door. Homework is spread across the table. Your child starts strong. Then suddenly, stops. They reread the instructions. They erase. They stare at the page. You step in to help. They snap. "I know this." But they can't explain it. They can't write it. And eventually, they shut down. You feel the tension rising. You don't want to push too hard. But you also don't want them falling behind. And quietly, a question forms in your mind. If my child is so smart, why is this so hard? Here's what you need to understand. When a smart child struggles in school, it's rarely about intelligence. It's about mismatch. Mismatch between how they think, how school measures success, and the skills required to perform under pressure. You didn't cause this. Your child didn't cause this. But once you see what's actually interfering with learning, the struggle starts to make sense. So let's break down the real reasons intelligent children struggle, the ones teachers often don't have time to explain. Problem 1. Smart kids often develop unevenly. Their reasoning ability may be years ahead. Their vocabulary advanced. Their curiosity endless. But emotionally? Organizationally? Neurologically? They're still their age. This is called asynchronous development, and it's extremely common in gifted and high-ability children. So you get a child who can debate ethics, understand abstract concepts, make sophisticated observations, but cannot start assignments independently, manage frustration, stay regulated under pressure. School rewards consistency. Smart kids often come in bursts. That gap creates confusion for teachers, parents, and the child themselves. Problem 2. Smart children are often praised for being smart early and often. "You're so clever. This is easy for you. You should already know this." At first, it feels encouraging. But over time, that praise becomes a trap. Research from Stanford and other developmental psychology centers shows that children praised for intelligence become more risk-averse. Why? Because effort becomes dangerous. If trying hard means you might fail, and failure means you're not smart, the brain avoids effort altogether. This is why many smart kids rush through work, avoid challenges, give up quickly, or pretend not to care. It's not laziness. It's self-protection. Problem 3. Here's the part almost no one explains. School success depends less on intelligence and more on executive function. Executive function includes planning, task initiation, sustained attention, emotional regulation, working memory. These skills develop slowly and unevenly, often into the mid-20s. A child can fully understand a lesson and still fail the assignment. Not because they don't know the material, but because they can't organize, initiate, or persist through the task. And here's the key point. Executive function is not taught explicitly in most schools. It's assumed. Smart children often rely on intuition early. They just get it. That works until it doesn't. As academic demands increase, tasks become longer. Instructions become layered. Deadlines matter. Intuition alone stops working. At the same time, repeated struggle activates stress pathways in the brain. Stress reduces working memory, cognitive flexibility, emotional regulation. So the smarter the child, the more confusing the experience becomes. I understand this, so why can't I do it? That confusion erodes confidence. School measures speed, output, compliance, consistency. But intelligence is nonlinear, uneven, context-dependent. Understanding is not equal to performance. Knowing the answer is not equal to showing the answer under time pressure. Many smart kids fail not academically, but logistically. Here's the shift that changes everything. Your child doesn't need more pressure. They don't need harder work. They don't need to try harder. They need explicit support for invisible skills. And that support rests on 3 core strategies. Solution pillar number 1. Separate identity from performance. Stop linking intelligence to outcomes. Replace, "You're so smart, why didn't you get this?" with, "This skill is still developing." This protects motivation. Effort becomes safe again. Solution pillar number 2. Teach the process. Instead of correcting mistakes, map the path. Ask, what's the first step? What's confusing? What do you do when you're stuck? This builds metacognition, thinking about thinking. Smart kids often skip this step. They need it taught explicitly. Solution pillar number 3. Externalize executive function. Use checklists, timers, visual schedules, step-by-step breakdowns. These aren't accommodations forever. They're skill builders. Brains grow by borrowing structure. Homework starts. Your child freezes. Instead of correcting or rescuing, you say calmly, "Let's just find the first step." No urgency. No judgment. That moment reduces stress. And stress reduction restores access to thinking. This isn't an overnight fix. Weeks 1 to 2, resistance and testing. Weeks 3 to 4, small improvements. Months later, confidence rebuilds. Not because your child got smarter, but because the system finally fits. What if my child is bored? Boredom often masks overwhelm. What if they refuse help? Offer structure, not control. What if teachers don't understand? Advocate for skill support, not labels. If your smart child is struggling, it doesn't mean something is wrong. It means intelligence alone isn't enough. And it was never supposed to be. With the right support, smart kids don't just survive school. They thrive. But here's what most parents don't realize. Even when school support improves, many smart kids keep struggling because of what's happening after school. There are 3 everyday habits that silently sabotage focus, resilience, and motivation, and almost every family is doing at least one.